Hi, and welcome to Cover Brand, where we cover all things branding, marketing, and advertising to help you understand what the hell branding is and how it works to grow your business. Hi, and welcome to Cover Brand, where we cover all things branding, marketing, and advertising to help you understand what the hell branding is and how it works to grow your business. Welcome and welcome back to Cover Brand. I am, as always, Ethan Decker. Today, I have as my guest the pleasure to have Victoria Carrington Chávez on the show. Hi, Victoria.
Hey, Ethan. It's good to be here. Always love when we get together and geek out about branding.
We have talked about getting you on the show for a while, so I'm glad it is finally happening.
Yes, me too.
Before we get into covering branding and marketing, let's cover some music.
Okay.
What cover song did you bring?
So I brought Jasmine Thompson's version of Mad World, which was originally done by Gary Jules. And
Okay. Yep.
I might have, but it's a song,
It is Gary Jules.
Gary Jules. It's a Mad World. It's very piano-y. It's very like ghostly and haunting, a little melodramatic. So Jasmine Thompson is released it somewhere in like 2017, 2016, maybe a little sooner than that. But she is somebody who has gotten some of her YouTube success. Social media has kind of brought her to the forefront in her music. So I brought that as my cover song.
I don't even know her. Where is she from? Is she from the States or is she from somewhere else?
I believe she's from the States. She started uploading videos of her music, of her covers. She actually started doing covers and putting those covers on social media to kind of get mainstream, which now she's been featured with artists like Selena Gomez, and she's kind of made a name for herself.
She's made it.
She's made it. But the Mad World version is, I loved the Gary Jules version, but I adore the Jasmine Thompson version. Like, it just hits something in my soul.
And then are they similar? Are they like both moody piano versions? Because I know Gary Jules' song from his album, like from 2000 or something.
They are both very moody piano songs.
Okay.
Like hers is so lightly. And I think it's also really interesting to hear the perspective, have a lighter, ethereal voice on that track. So yeah, both moody, both very ethereal.
Okay, so here's a surprise for you maybe. The Gary Jules version, two things about that. First of all, I have that whole album. I love that album. That's the least favorite song of mine on that album. It's my least favorite. I like the rest of the album. I didn't like that. And this is why. Because it's actually a cover of a Tears for Fears track from the 80s.
What?
Gary Jules did not create it. He covered it himself and took it from basically like a synth pop song to this moody, brooding piano ballad.
So it wasn't even a sad song. It wasn't even moody. It was like an 80s like pop like vibe.
It was moody, but it was pop, like dun 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 dun. It had that kind of synth vibe going at it, and it wasn't a slow piano ballad, that's for sure.
It's what you just did there makes me think of like You Spin Me Right Round, like that.
Exactly. It has that same vibe.
Ethan, my mind is blown. Like, I can't imagine that song as that. Which now I'm laughing that I picked a cover of a cover of a cover.
Well done. Well done.
A little like that feels actually on brand for me, of being
extra bonus points.
Incredibly nuanced and layered.
Yeah. Well done. So we will put the new version, the Jasmine Thompson version of Mad World, onto the Cover Brand cover playlist, which you can find on Spotify. We keep all the covers there. I will queue it up so I can listen to it right after the show here. And you all should go out and listen to it as well. That's a great version. Great choice.
And I'm gonna go listen to the Tears for Fears version and get like my 80s synth pop, which is so I do when I'm in a space of listening to the moody broody music, and then I'm like, okay, we need to move on from the moody broody music. I find that 80s pop is the quickest way to get out of any funk. You dance, it's a vibe.
Yeah, Cyndi Lauper,
synthesizer.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
Thompson Twins,
Thompson Twins, the safety dance.
Eurythmics. Yeah,
Sweet dreams are made of
yeah.
this. Yeah,
Dun, 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 dun.
you just feel
Yeah,
better. Like it's the antidote. So if any listeners
yeah.
out there are just feeling a little moody and a little broody, because I get that there's a lot happening, like go listen to some 80s dance pop, dance
80s
around,
hits.
and just
Yeah.
fucking vibe.
Good call. Good call. Okay. Well, we have covered the music part of the program. We'll be right back after these messages to cover brands.
Yep.
Today's episode of Cover Brand is sponsored by the Positioning Chair, the only chair guaranteed to help you own your space. It's also the only chair we have here at Applied Brand Science. We love how it shapes our cheeks and gets us in alignment. It also has this incredible mesh that breathes like Egyptian cotton. Sit differently, sit memorably. The Positioning Chair, because if you don't define your seat, someone else will. Welcome back. Today, we have Victoria Carrington Chávez, and I want you to tell folks about your business before you ask your question about branding and marketing, because people don't know what you do.
All right, sounds good. So, I am a TEDx speaker and a narrative strategist, and I help people tell a damn good story. Stories are a really great way to build connection, to talk about your business, to talk about yourself, and to build an audience. I help people do this on social media, on
Mm-hmm.
stages, and through a lot of narrative strategy. A couple places people can find me, is
Mm-hmm.
Lilac and Aspen, and as well as the
Okay, so
Story
that's the
Saloon.
name of your company is Lilac and Aspen.
Yep,
Like all the best companies, it has an ampersand in the
of
name.
course. I mean,
Yes.
it just feels really cool, right? Like, what are some
Yeah.
cool brands that have ampersands?
Well, I mean, old school, you've got Bang and Olufsen
Mhm.
for speakers and hi-fi. If you, this isn't very cool, but it's very old school. Procter and Gamble, of course.
Yep,
Uh,
Procter& and
but
Gamble.
but more modern, there's some places like there's a great cocktail bar called Death and Co,
Oh,
which is pretty hip. And in Denver, near my home, there's a place called Colt and Gray and Stoic and Genuine. Here in Boulder, there's Bramble and Hare and a little speakeasy called Pits and Stems,
yeah,
which I happen to know a little bit
a
more about.
little bit about
A little bit more about.
I mean, all the cool kids are doing
Yeah,
ampersands.
yeah, yeah. The new thing is even the plus,
Mhm. Oh,
so it's a
yeah,
plus sign in between.
the plus.
But
I think
what
the
ifs?
ampersand really for me hits that both and. Like you can be a both
Yep.
and, which really does speak to my brand identity work. That's how I help a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people is through branding, through identity work, and
Mm-hmm.
through telling their story because that's one of the ways we kind of find out who we are, who we're talking to, how we want to connect with
Yeah.
them, and all really important parts of brand science.
Yeah. So Lilac and Aspen
Mm.
is your company.
Lilac and Aspen, and you can find me at
Okay.
lilacaspen.com, as well as
Got
the
it.
Story Saloon as my secondary brand, and that's really where Lilac and Aspen is for a lot of brands, but Story Saloon is for the people, like connecting,
Okay.
building community, and helping people kind of in the more personal branding space.
Got it. Got it. And they can find that at lilacaspen.com as
Yep.
well.
Yep.
Great. Great. Okay. So then what's the question you've got, your burning question about branding and marketing that I can maybe help you with today?
Yeah. So, Ethan, how do us young bloods in marketing,
Uh-huh.
especially those of us with a lot of nuance. I recently found out I went to Black Week and found out that 7% of people in the marketing industry are Black. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Latinos, I'm sure is similar numbers. And so there's not a lot of representation. I am mixed being like Afro Latina native.
Oh
How
my
do
gosh.
people like me with nuance and also
Uh-huh.
being younger in the marketing
Mhm.
industry really stand out, cement ourselves. Like stories are a piece of it, but I'm sure that there's some science to it as well. What can you
Yeah. Yeah.
share in your experience?
Well, this is not a small topic for sure. and and it goes, of course, way beyond the realm of just science or just branding or just
Mhm,
marketing, but absolutely, it's a big topic and it's a big
mhm.
issue. Um, the I First of all, I totally know what you mean. I mean, as a white guy in marketing, an older white guy in marketing,
Refined,
of advancing years.
refined guy in marketing.
Refined, thank you,
We're gonna
refined,
say you're like a
refined guy.
refined, what it would be, Scotch, gin,
Right, aged, barrel aged. I'm barrel
barely.
aged.
Ooh, love it.
Yes, vintage is another way to talk about it. I'm vintage. So as a vintage white man in marketing, who has tried to bring in diversity, bring in new voices, bring in the next generation. I've always done that in my career and done that in my personal life. Um, I think that I want to start by quoting Max Planck. I don't know if you've ever heard of Max Planck. Max Planck created there's a unit of measurement called the Planck, I
Okay.
think, or the Planck scale. So it's literally, he's one of those science guys that has something named after him. But he said something to the effect of, scientific change happens really slowly and usually one funeral at a time.
Oh, that's trash.
And
That's
I know.
identity work.
So
You have
yeah,
many funerals at a time when you're kind of sifting through your identity and being like, "Wait, who am
it's
I?"
well, there's that, but I think he was meaning actual funerals. Like the old guard did not want to understand um, his science. I think he did
Mm,
quantum physics. This is really pushing me now in terms of my physics history here. But yeah, he was born in like 1850s, and he created the Max Planck Society, and he was known for some theoretical physics and quantum physics. And quantum physics
mm,
really messes with people's minds.
mhm.
Even there's another famous quote about quantum physics. If you think you understand quantum physics, then you really don't know quantum physics, because
I don't
it
understand.
radically shifts your beliefs. And
Yep.
so he was up against so many strong opponents that he
Mm.
basically said, I'm not going to persuade them. Science is only going to advance when they die. And even going further back, when you hear the stories of Copernicus or Isaac
Mhm.
Newton or oh, what's that one guy's name? But Galileo, how the church and everyone hated his findings.
Mhm.
And so things do happen really slowly, and they do happen one funeral at a time because people are hard to change.
That part right there.
Okay, that part right there, and that gets to your work, and it also gets to brand science.
Mhm.
For instance, I often hear marketers say, well, if we can just get people to come to our restaurant one more time per year,
Mhm.
or if we can only get people to start using mayonnaise in new ways, because
Mhm.
mayonnaise is so versatile, right? Mayonnaise
Yeah.
does 20 things. And it turns out it's really hard to change people.
It is
It's
so hard to change
right.
people.
It's hard to get someone who buys 4 jars of mayonnaise a year to buy 5 jars of mayonnaise a year. It's hard to get someone who uses your bank's credit card to also get a personal loan or their insurance or their 401k from your bank as well. Like
Mhm.
cross purchase is hard because
Yep.
that's getting someone to change from buying their usual shit to buying 2 or 3 things from you,
Mhm.
right? For instance, Victoria, what's your favorite brand of jeans?
Oh, my favorite brand of jeans. I would say Lucky Brand. And some of
Lucky.
it Lucky, and honestly, for the reason of that was the brand in high school that made me feel
Mhm.
cool. And I still, years later, wear Lucky
Yeah.
Brands because of that
Yeah.
feeling, which speaks to some of the work that I do and also the work you do in that science of people have to feel something with it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm guessing you don't have, if you might have a lot of Lucky Brand jeans, do you have Lucky Brand shirts, blouses, tops, underwear, socks?
I just recently bought my first Lucky Brand shirt, like, just now. Like,
Yeah. So there you go. Lucky would love you to buy a lot of different products from
mhm,
them. I mean, they make more than jeans,
they do.
and they probably send you emails all the goddamn time
They send
because,
me yes,
right? And yet, look how hard it is for them to change your behavior.
that part.
So, so now let's turn all of this science about human nature onto
Mm,
this issue of opening up the field to new faces, new voices, new people, as
mhm,
opposed to the hegemony of white men that have tended to run marketing forever.
mhm,
And one of the suggestions, this is the hard part, is don't expect these old white guys to change
mm.
and build stuff that's new.
Love that.
and do stuff that does not rely upon them, which is, of course, a pain in the ass because they control all the institutions and so much of the money.
Mhm.
But I learned this lesson mostly through the world of venture capital and funding of entrepreneurs and young entrepreneurship,
Mhm.
because that world is the same thing. It's run by a bunch of old white men, as you can
Mhm.
imagine.
Yeah.
And for people to really get access who have great ideas, whether they are brown or black or female or gay or different in some way, they've had to build their own communities and their own
Mhm.
networks and their own systems and worlds,
Mhm.
because those old folks, those old white guys, don't change quickly, if at all. And
Mhm.
so change will happen one funeral at a time, which is sad, but maybe it also means it might free you from expecting these old guys to change and free you to build something new with the people who feed you and recognize your skills and your
Mm.
assets and your value, and don't constantly put you down or think you're less because you look
Yeah.
different or sound different.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that that's really an important point of recognizing the people that feed you, that see you, that celebrate you, and
Hmm.
also celebrating them. Really getting into that reciprocity of supporting them, seeing them, and building that community.
Hmm.
I still like there. I think that there's some habits we can learn from corporate.
Hmm.
And while we don't have time to get into all the habits, I think that one of them is really that, especially in marketing and things that I've seen in my very little time in corporate marketing before I went rogue and just said, okay, I'm gonna be a
Hmm.
rebel and start my own business, is that space of competition over collaboration. And
Yep. Yep.
so I hear what you're saying, and you're right. Like, there are systems and people that aren't going to change in that.
Hmm.
But
Um,
recognizing Go ahead.
yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, just recognizing that there are people who are about that change. People like you,
Yeah.
like Aisala and Peggy, and just these people that we see who are creating spaces of change for connection, for community,
Hmm.
and to
Hmm.
build a space where we can kind of all work together in our strengths.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
my perplexity is because it's new. Like, it's not
Yeah.
like it doesn't feel like the industry standard. But who
Right.
gets to
It's
decide the industry standard?
Well, right. And it's the gatekeepers. It's the gatekeepers. So in that regard, some of the challenges you're facing as a young mixed race female, Blatine native, what's it's you picked
Afro-Latina
the extra
native. Afro-Latina
Afro-Latina.
native.
There you go. Okay, you picked the extra challenge level in this lifetime, didn't you?
I really
You're like, I don't know. I could be a white woman, but that's too easy. Can you make it harder? I don't know. Can you throw something else in there? So yeah, you
I
you
was
have a
raised
lot
in
of
Boulder on top of that, Ethan.
right. Yeah, exactly. Um, so you have so many headwinds, and there are people who will so quickly just make snap judgments, as we do with brands, as
Mhm,
we do with other people. Like that's how the brain works. But it means you will have so many headwinds to overcome all the time
mm,
that it will, as you probably already feel, it can be really exhausting to
mhm,
try and expect the old establishment to change.
mhm,
Um, and even when you're up to snuff, like we saw this with a lot of a lot of presidential campaigns recently,
mhm,
where the women were clearly less emotional than the men. The
mhm,
women were clearly more intelligent than the men. The women were
mhm,
clearly more capable and more practiced than the men.
mhm,
And yet they were still held to a bar that was infinitely high.
mhm,
And so that's going to be, I know, I'm sure, it's
mhm.
exhausting, right?
Very.
And just like with a brand, you don't want to sell a product to people who don't want it, because
Mhm,
that's exhausting and it's going to be very hard to do, right? It's
mhm.
really hard to sell sriracha flavored ketchup to people who don't like sriracha flavor.
Yeah,
Ain't gonna happen. So in that regard, on the one hand, I would highly recommend, just like with marketing, find your customer that loves you, find the people that you really meet a need for, and focus on that and build that and grow that, and ignore the other rest of the crap.
Yeah.
So that's one piece. Build it. Build your own, build it new, whatever. And then of course, as a businesswoman, just finding customers that vibe with you, vibe on you. That's what we all need. We need to find the people that want what we're selling. And so that might be a matter of targeting for your own business and your own company. So does that make sense so far?
Yeah. It feels like just that reminder of you can't sell to people who don't want your product, but find your people. That's really what I'm hearing. It's find your people and connect with them, build with them. Yeah, find your people.
Yeah.
So how
Yeah.
do
The
you find
brand.
your people, Ethan?
Well, yes, that is a big question too. That takes work because along with finding the people, you have to express your offering in a way that they get, that they understand. And for that, sometimes your identity will be a part of that. They will want to find someone who is a woman, or want to find someone who is not white, or want to find someone who has a matrixed identity or multiplicities. And that will be a feature to them. Other times, they're just going to want someone who's really a badass in personal branding, and they don't care what color or sex you are. They just want to know you're a former TED speaker, right?
Yep.
So how you phrase it up also is going to impact whether or not your target market recognizes your value and decides they want it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That tracks.
Okay. Good. You know, there is another angle, and you probably can't entirely avoid the establishment and the institution and all the old white guys. And for that, I don't even know if the science, like if there's great science about how to address that when you're coming from such an outsider position. There are many approaches, there are many angles, and I mean, one of the keys is do what works for you. If you're confrontational and you like to get up in people's faces, then it's kind of like that's how you're going to roll. And you're going to tell these old white guys, you know, go to your fucking grave or move out of the way. But if you're more of a sweet talker, then that might be, oh my gosh, you know what? There's a great movie called The Butler, but it's something's The Butler. What was his name? The director? Lee Daniels. Lee Daniels, The Butler. That's actually the full name of the film. Lee Daniels, The Butler. And Lee himself is a black guy. And it's the story of a long-standing butler in the White House for the President of the United States during the 40s and 50s and 60s or something, or 50s and 60s.
Great movie.
And he's a black guy. And his son, a young black man, is radicalized and really wants to not just march in the streets, but wants to actually fight and maybe even, get armed. And I loved the movie because the whole movie was about the debate. What's the best way to create change? Do you do it from the inside? And as they would say, being an Uncle Tom, and living in the white man's house and serving him and being subservient? Or do you do it by being radical and outside and saying, fuck you, and throwing Molotov cocktails?
Yeah.
And I don't think the movie resolved that. And I don't know that science has actually figured out how that really happens to force change. I think there's still some debate about how you really can create change from the inside versus the outside.
Yeah. I feel like for me, what I've been exploring, especially coming into 2026, is how do being more in that radicalized rebel energy that I can't change this. I can just be me and be more auspicious and honestly give less fucks. I think that that's a space where I have been in my career so focused on what other people think that like rolling into
Yeah.
2026, I'm just like, yeah, fuck it. Like I'm good at what
Yeah.
I do and I'm not gonna change. I'm not gonna convince those sriracha people who don't love sriracha to buy sriracha. I'm not gonna
Right.
convince like if people see
Yeah.
me and they're like, "Oh, I don't think that a black woman is capable," I'm not gonna there's nothing I can do to convince them.
No.
And so just being more on that radical side, being more in the like, y I don't give a
Don't give
fuck.
a fuck.
I don't give a
Yep.
like, I'm gonna go be me because 'cause I'm
Yeah.
brilliant, because 'cause I'm badass,
Yep.
and it just it changes everything, and I think that
It
the
does.
other piece is I keep saying I think a lot. I'm somebody who at times can be in the strategy and the brain science of it, but, like, there's
Mhm.
also the body of it. Like, that's the
Yeah.
next part that I would really I see just you encouraging me and a number of other people of, like, just being the body of it.
Mhm.
Like, because
Yeah.
I can say I don't give a fuck, but, like, how does my body move in that? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. That's hard. That's really
that's
hard,
hard.
Victoria, because some people like Snoop Dogg are built that way. They're
Mhm.
born that way.
Yeah.
And others have to learn it, right? And they have to there's a beautiful phrase, it takes a long time to become yourself.
Mm.
Um and there are even multiple ways to not give a fuck. Like
Mhm.
you could be happy-go-lucky yourself, but not be harsh on anyone else,
Mhm.
just in your own zone. Like Richard Simmons didn't give a fuck. But Richard Simmons, was a flamboyant, gay, jazzercise guy.
Mhm.
Um, and he wasn't up in people's faces. Whereas you could also be like, I don't know, Ice Cube,
Mhm.
and he didn't give a fuck, but he was in your face about that
Mhm.
shit. So you can also choose what works for you, what style works for you, and
Mhm.
we see that with brands too. And
Mhm.
in terms of science and brand science, FCUK is literally the name of a brand,
Yep. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And they don't give a fuck.
No.
And then there's the whole gamut, all the way to the brands that are very careful and, of course, want to be nice and want to appease everybody and appeal to everybody.
Mhm.
And so all the sharp points are rounded
Mhm.
off, and it's a circle brand instead of a pointy brand.
Mm.
So you can choose what works for you, and then it's that challenge of finding the audience that resonates with that,
Yep.
and that is hard. But
Yeah.
I do believe step 1 is figuring out who you are and being wholeheartedly and wholehoggedly that.
That part.
Um,
I it's
yeah,
interesting, a lot of my work and I appreciate the way that you talked about that because it's so confidence for me, a lot of the people that work with me are like, "Hey, you really helped me get confidence." And confidence is a skill. It's not like I think very few people are born with it. And then when you add more of those
uh-huh,
layers, when you add more of that nuance or you've had experiences that have made you question and doubt your own confidence, you kind of find your way back to it. Like I found that there's pieces of this
yeah,
confidence formula, but
yeah,
a good piece of it, what I remind people doing things with not just or saying things and being and taking that action with your whole chest, but not just your whole chest, your
yeah.
whole ass. Like if
Your
you're
whole
gonna stand
body,
on a
your whole
stage, if
ass.
you're gonna
Yeah,
put it like your whole ass, like not just like your chest, not just your heart, just your whole ass. Like it's
yep,
those are the kind of shifts that make the change, especially to human behavior, especially the psychology of it, because it is hard to
yeah.
change. We as people do not like change. We will cling to the familiar,
No,
even if it's killing us.
yep,
And we
yep,
have to reach that place of our dreams or whatever's next or the level ups, whatever that looks like, success in business. We have to do
mhm,
more things with our whole chest and our whole ass, or as you say, whole hog, like
yeah,
all of that.
yep, whole hug, yep. Yeah, and good brands, we see that to take it to the small perspective of brands.
Mhm.
A brand I worked with recently that went through that to some extent was Lazy-Boy,
Mm. Yeah.
who, lazy sounds pejorative, and
Mhm.
boy is not the best word in the time where the future is female and,
Mhm.
all this questions of gender. Um, and a little bit of what they needed to do was reclaim who they were and own it. Like they were also, as an organization, they kept saying, oh, we make more than recliners and we don't just want to be known as the Archie Bunker chair,
Mm-hmm.
you know? No, be the Archie Bunker chair. Own that shit, because there is no other brand that can sit in that seat. And if you own it, then you can own it in the best, most beautiful way. And the way that they ended up doing that was by essentially saying, we are about lazy moments. We are about lazy weekends. We are about lazy
Mm-hmm.
afternoons. And who doesn't want a lazy afternoon? Who doesn't want a lazy weekend?
Mm-hmm.
And you get this to sit and put your ass in that big Archie Bunker chair by earning it, because it's not a cheap chair either. It's expensive.
Yeah.
It's well built. It's built for lifetimes. So yeah, they needed to reclaim who they were and own who they were, and then find the people who resonate with that shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I love that. I think that's a really great way to kind of like mic drop it and kind of close out in that of own it. Like that's when I work with people, especially in main character energy, that's what being a main character is this is who I am. I own it. And it's really key too, I feel like, especially for femme-bodied folks, we're really taught to own other people's stuff or to
Mm,
feel certain ways about things, but like when we're clear in who we are and own that shit, like that's where the magic,
yeah.
the what how whatever
Yeah.
word you want to call it happens. And
Yeah.
trust me, I know it's easier said than done, but that's
Ugh.
the main characterness of it. So
It's
whole
so hard. Right.
own
It's so
it.
hard because you can own your shit, and you can not give a fuck, and you can be yourself. And then when the establishment doesn't get you, you can either give them the middle finger and scream at them for being such old fogies, or you could just be like, oh, bless your heart. It's so hard for you. I know. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Um, and there are different ways to respond, but I find it's very freeing to
Mhm.
leave that stuff behind. And I think that the science, if there is something science can say, or brand science can say, about you being a young, multi-identitied, multifaceted woman in marketing, is let that stuff go, because it's hard to get them to buy new mayonnaise and new sriracha,
Mhm.
and resonate and find the audience that loves you for who you are and will eat up um, the stuff that you want to sell. The stuff that
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like now I'm like just, giving a more middle finger to certain establishments and just being just being me. Like I which is ironic because
awesome.
that's advice, right? So thank you, Ethan. That feels really powerful. I appreciate you so much and all your brand science.
Lilac and Aspen. Oh my God, absolutely, 1,000%. I'm so excited we finally got to have this recorded conversation, because we've had so many others. Um, Lilac and Aspen is the company. Lilacaspen.com is the place. And then from there, you can find the Substack and everything else Victoria does. Victoria, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ethan.
If you've ever listened to the show and thought, man, my team could use this stuff, then call me. Training teams on brand science is literally what I do. Learn more at appliedbrandscience.com. And remember, people don't share your content because they love your brand. They share your content because they love their friends. See you next time.